Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brad Arquet,
And I am Santa Claus.
and we are here brought to you by Champira.gg, and we are giving you Champira, a scrimmage between the New Jersey City University and Royal Gaming. Santa, how are you?
I'm doing amazing. We have a very good scrimmage for you coming up tonight between, as Brad so eloquently said before, New Jersey City and Royal Club. There's there's going to be there's going to be so much to watch between these two teams tonight. Genetic, Greedy, and quite a few other of the players of New Jersey City. This is one of their first times playing in an organized team environment.
Should be a fun time for all. Pretty about an hour or so for everybody, and honestly, I can't wait to jump into it. We are getting the lobby set up now, and yeah.
And New Jersey City plays in the Eastern College Athletic Conference, which is a collegiate style tournament or collegiate conference per se for Overwatch. Whereas Royal Club, they play in small little tournaments. They're more of a private style rather than playing in the public leagues per se. Wouldn't you agree, Brad?
Absolutely, it definitely between Champira and getting this experience early in the development of these players. Getting ready to jump into the bigger world of esports. Maybe eventually moving on to contenders or maybe even the Overwatch League. This is where it starts here. These scrimmages in between clubs and universities trying to develop young minds into the players that we all love to watch.
Indeed, indeed. I couldn't have said it better myself. Champira has been a very helpful tool for us, for our teams that I know that I've managed, and I'm really glad to be able to see an amazing scrimmage that's going to be coming out tonight. And I just can't wait to see what they have in store for us.
Absolutely. And if you are an organization that is looking to set up a scrimmage between other teams of a like-minded wanting to develop players, log on to Champria at champria.gg and schedule your scrim today.
All right. And so one of the main metas that has been played towards the higher level of esports currently in Overwatch has been Sigma Ball. Do you expect to see Sigma Ball today, or do you think that with the new experimental changes coming out that people are going to be leaning back towards a different style, a traditional style with a main tank and an off tank?
I believe it's entirely possible, and it will also depend on the map set that both teams agree to play today. I do think Wrecking Ball is one of those heroes that is deceptively hard to manage if you're just like an average tank player. Wrecking Ball requires a little bit more finesse than say the big German man that swings his hammer around. But I wouldn't be surprised to see some Wrecking Ball maybe on Control Center and maybe on some 2 CP points. However, I wouldn't be surprised to see Sigma at all, considering how strong he is, which is why the devs have decided to nerf him slightly with his. Actually, I would say it's a pretty major change with his barrier going from 1 second to being deployed to 2.5 seconds. I think it'll be probably a significant enough change to shift the meta, but as it stands right now, that change is not live, so I wouldn't be surprised at all to see a lot of Sigma gameplay and quite possibly Wrecking Ball as well, or maybe even the classic Double Shield on certain map types.
Double shield right now with the amount of spam damage that Sigma and Hog could put out. I'm not sure that we'll be seeing a lot of that, but if ball isn't being played, then for sure I'd say Sigma Hog or something with a lot of spammy style. Of course, there are still teams that prefer to run Shadow Dive, which is a very niche style of team comp that still works if you have been able to practice it and play it properly. So there's no telling what we will be able to see here tonight, especially if teams expect the meta to go one way and they start practicing for that meta.
At the end of the day, it just comes down to what the teams are most comfortable playing. It's entirely possible that we see 4 games of Ryan Zarya or even Ryan Winston. I mean, I've seen enough of those games in my quick play as well as my competitive games that honestly, anything's possible. But I don't think it's going to be as likely we see, those style of compositions tank wise. But what about DPS, Santa? What are you thinking is most likely?
So for DPS and supports tie in a lot here because if you want to see a support composition that's bat brig, you're not going to see an Ashe because the Ashe relies heavily on the damage boost from the
Hmm.
Mercy. If you're going to see a Lucio, you're probably going to see things like Reaper or Mei that allow them to move around easier. I'd expect to see an Ashe, an Echo, Tracer back from that late back from the melee. If any of you guys watch the Overwatch League melee times, all those characters, Ashe, Echo, Tracer, even potentially Genji, are extremely viable in specific situations. Well, actually, that's a lie. They're all viable in nearly every single situation. Genji is the one that can be swapped in and out at will, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Echoes just jumping in, getting huge copies, fluxes, whatever the heck they need. I'd love to see some Echo gameplay tonight, or Ashe or Tracer, and that's what I'm predicting. What about supports?
Um, if we are going to see a lot of Ashe gameplay, I imagine Mercy is going to be a must pick as a damage boosted Ashe. That's Mercy holding right click, does about 205 damage per shot. So that one taps most of the DPS heroes
Per
in the game.
headshot.
Yes, yes. And so I think it's entirely possible that we see a lot of Mercy gameplay. Also, if Echo is being played as well, we're going to that Echo is going to want a Mercy pocket as to not just get obliterated out of the sky. As for the flex support position, I think what's most likely to happen is Ana, considering how much of a staple she has been to the scene since her introduction. But honestly, if teams are feeling themselves, I wouldn't be surprised to see Zenyatta as well for that extra oomph and damage, and potentially team saving ultimate in Transcendence.
For sure. And I actually want to continue what you're saying about Zenyatta because you look at somebody like Ashe, she has a rifle, but there's this thing in Overwatch called fall off damage. Zen, on the other hand, has none of that. So he can be sitting in spawn. If you're halfway across, if you're in your own spawn, you walk out, he manages to get a sightline on you, it's going to do full damage. Ashe at that range will do like basically just a punch in the shoulder. It'll do like, for a fully charged headshot, it'd do like 60 damage. But for Zen, there's no fall off damage. So he can essentially become a third sniper. And if it's Mercy Zen, that means that there's going to be a triple threat of damage if the Mercy decides, you know what, I think my Zenyatta's good. And just pocket him like we saw the New York Excelsior do for Jonak back in season 1.
Absolutely. And if Sigma is being played as much as we are predicting he will be, having a graphitic flux coming into your team and having no way of defending against it, if you're running the Mercy Ana, your team is essentially taking an incredible amount of damage and not really having much of a way to defend against the enemy team from rushing once the graphitic flux ends. But with a Zenyatta, popping Transcendence when the ultimate is coming online, then that changes the tide of the game, where from there it's, which team can aim the best, which team has a better position, and becomes much more of an even playing field, even after one of the most impactful ults in the game is used.
Yes. And then now it just comes down to basics, as you said. Which team's better coordinated? Which team understands the meta better? And
Mm-hmm.
meta comps are normally practiced against other meta comps. So if we see a team come out with, let's just say, hard brawl, and the other one doesn't understand how to play against it, that little bit of an edge could make a whole difference, even if one team composition is better on paper.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, if you're able to tap your opponent's head better than they can yours, then you're going to win the day. And, often we hear in Overwatch that, some characters have like hard counters and all that, like how Zenyatta is more or less hard countered by Tracer if both are playing at a competent level. And that can be true. But what we see often with a lot of teams is that you won't really see them switching to team or to heroes that'll counter what the other team is running necessarily. Sometimes they just want to mirror the composition and, in a sense, be better than their opponents at what they are trying to do.
For sure, without a doubt, we still see hero swapping at like some levels, but you never really see a team come out with like, all right, we're gonna do A, and then they see the enemy widow and they're like, all right, we don't like that Widow. We're going to swap everything that we've ever practiced just to mess up that Widow. No, they're going to, if anything, mirror that comp, run what they've been running. Just so that, and be like, all right, we can run this better than them. If anything, we can switch one hero or two heroes, see if they don't know what to do against it. But it comes down, Overwatch is a team game. And
Absolutely.
that's what it comes down to, the team aspect, positioning, game sense, and something that's not really talked about much, but in-game leaders. If you have a bad in-game leader saying, all right, they're not going to have this ultimate, and they do have that ultimate, that one sentence could lose you the entire fight, and if you're on 2 CP, the entire round.
Absolutely. It's one of those things where the main thing that separates teams like what we're about to witness tonight from your typical ladder games is the fact that these teams are groups of 6 people that trust each other and play with each other, and some of them even have coaches that'll give them ideas to and like strategies to think about and execute on as they scrimmage, like what we will see tonight. But having that in-game sense when your coach isn't necessarily telling you what to do, having your players being able to discern, hey, this thing that we're doing, even though we've practiced it a lot, isn't really working. We're going to have to shift gears. The team that is better able to adapt to any situation given to them is going to be the one that wins tonight.
And that's how I personally believe that it should be. If you got two teams equal playing field, equally skilled people mechanically, the one that adapts better, even on the battlefield in real life, they just I believe it was the Art of War or Eisenhower. Somebody said something like, even the best laid plans mean nothing when it comes to the battle. You need to be able to adapt. And if teams can do that, even in a game such as Overwatch, they're going to be the ones that seize the day.
Absolutely, 100%. We're still waiting for the lobby to set up right now. So we're just, hopefully you won't have to listen to us vamp for too much longer, but, we're still just sort of waiting for the teams to set up now. It should be any minute now.
So I'm just going to be going over a few very quick facts that might interest you, and go over a few of the names of people to potentially watch for both teams. For New Jersey City University, we have Genetic. He's a tank and DPS player. He once achieved 105 eliminations in a quick play game as Roadhog, which I don't think I've ever broken 70 in AI.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I've gotten close in my day. Back when I've peaked when I was probably like 15 years old. But I'm very curious to hear if he actually won that game or lost, because it's entirely possible that he was able to just go around doing his own thing. Things have broken down so much, but his team, like we've been saying, like Overwatch is a team game at the end of the day. So even if you're racking up all those eliminations, if your team can't cap the point, if your team can't push that payload, ultimately it won't mean much.
Greedy, a DPS for New Jersey. Frosty, DPS and support. Clo JPEG, I believe it's pronounced. Tank player. Complex, tank support. Lana, DPS and support. And Tatsu, support and DPS. And as for Royal, we have Sayult, Giancarlo for tanks. DPS, Suzuki, and Aphrodite. And the supports are Mictlon, Thickman, Artemis, and Angel.
2 very decently sized rosters about to go up against each other. Interesting thing to note about New Jersey, they have quite a decent amount of female players on their team, something that we've seen a lot more of in esports recently, where players of all walks of life, of all shapes and sizes, are able to come together and appreciate these games that we all love to play and watch.
Without doubt, and that's one of the things that makes esports. It's acceptable it's accessible for everybody. Anybody can come in, play the game, and there's no leagues that are separated by gender, race, or sex.
Absolutely. And Overwatch, as a game that has championed diversity as much as they have, you absolutely love to see it. Looks like we're getting the lobby set up now, so it should be just a moment. We will jump into the action once it's all ready to go.
Indeed. I gotta say, I'm feeling really excited for this.
Me
I
too.
I can't I can't even explain how ready I am for what we have in store for y'all tonight.
Absolutely. This off season for the Overwatch League has got me just antsy for, as much Overwatch content as I can get. And, watching contenders is, great and all, seeing, up and coming talent about to enter the Overwatch League. But, being able to be in the action itself, it's an experience unlike any other.
Yeah, especially when you get to sit in the lobby and watch as everything goes down. And and there's sometimes just some things that you see but you can't articulate into words. And just sitting in a lobby watching the players and you're like, will this work out? And it's just an insane feeling, and I'd highly recommend for anybody who watches the Overwatch League or loves Overwatch in a way to take the time, just watch contenders, watch high level gameplay, because some of the stuff that is pulled off in these scrimmages and these high level games, it's absolutely absurd for plebs like me who are currently not that high up on the ladder
Yep.
to even understand. It's it's insane.
Absolutely. Hashtag support tier 2 indeed. Looks like we're getting the lobby set up as we speak, and we will be jumping into the action shortly. We do not have a map, selected yet, but we are going to be jumping into control first, presumably. So, Santa, what map do you expect both teams to run, or what map would you like to see coming up?
So the first control, you ask any pro player, all right, control, name one now. It's Lijiang. That's it. It's
Interesting.
Lijiang. Lijiang's the first control point that comes into mind. It's the staple control center. Is just you say control center, you know what people are talking about. You say Lijiang Garden, it's the one with the boops. It's the one with the bridge that your teammates always walk over and comp and don't realize, hey, they have a Lucio running right towards us. Night Market. It's the one that isn't the two other ones, but it is the scrimmage control that everybody runs.
It's the
So
one that
I'm
makes Symmetra viable.
yes. Shoot, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Symmetra here a little bit.
Absolutely. Lijiang is one of those classic control maps that I'm inclined to like as well. It feels like you can play like a lot of different types of compositions depending on what map it is. See a lot of dive on gardens, see a lot of rush, and even like some bunker on night market. I would actually be surprised if the teams opted to run what I feel like is one of the unsung better maps in Overwatch, and that being Oasis. I feel like Oasis doesn't get talked much as like one of the best like maps in Overwatch, but like Lijiang, I feel like you can run a multitude of compositions across the different maps. Between I actually, off the top of my head, I'm not familiar with like all the different ones. I know there's University and there's like
City Center.
I think it's Gardens as well.
Yes, I
You
think
know,
so too.
yeah,
But
it's a lot like Lijiang where you can run like depending on which map you get, you can run just about anything. You can run dive, you can run rush. So I would love to see a little bit of Oasis tonight. Uh,
and one of the main reasons I agree with you completely, but I think one of the main reasons why Lijiang is respected and shown as the scrimmage map, because I know as somebody who participates in scrims, you just ask, all right, what map we're doing for control? No, you don't ever ask that. It's always Lijiang. Unless you're in a league that has a specific starting map that isn't Lijiang, because Lijiang's one of the first control maps, if not the main control maps that were put into the game. And that's just what everybody knows. Back when you had to play all three maps to win, you had to go through all three to win a comp game and to win a quick play game. That's how long this bad boy has been around.
Absolutely. And now finally we have the lobby set up after some issues that definitely were not my fault. We
What
should
do
be
you
getting into the games.
mean?
I may or may not have been appearing offline and could not get into the lobby. So Listen, listen. These things happen to the best of us. But we're about to get in. It looks like our starting lineups for the New Jersey City University is going to be Complex, Cloge, Greedy Vicus, Itsulana, Luna, and Tatsuno Make. And then for Royal Gaming, it's going to be Aphrodite, Giancarlos, Thickman, Ixchitel, Sasuke, and Casito.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
I'm color casting.
Okay.
All right. All right. Sorry for a bit of confusion.
Just working out the kinks, ladies and gentlemen. We should be good to go in just under a minute here.
Indeed. There are a few names that weren't listed on the roster. Of course, these could be alt accounts or just alternate names, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm are these guys a hidden factor really or anything of the sort, or is it just I don't really know.
It's entirely possible as we scroll through, some of the players.
As we
Uh,
scroll through the player profiles, it seems like they're mainly private.
yeah, it's one of those things you never want to give an edge to your opponent, but
At all.
as the commentators, we kind of want to gauge like where exactly are the players, give an idea is like more or less the level of gameplay that we're going to see. No, regardless, like as coordinated gameplay, like even if you have a team of silver players, it will look significantly better than just like even like a
Silver,
ladder game like you know grouped up of all like masters players even.
yes, especially if these players know each other and know exactly how they're going to be playing.
100%.
Because something that's not talked about, you look at Vancouver Titans or
Mm-hmm.
Runaway, the main thing they had going for them is coordination. I forget the term, but it's it's something where you work better with people that you know, and it's just worked with over time. The word's escaping my brain. I don't know what to say.
I feel like I'm right there with you. It's like that theory where you have two different people that can lift, say 200 pounds each, but you put them both together, and suddenly they can lift 500 pounds. Like, where did that extra 100 pounds that they can lift come from? Well, that just comes from being able to distribute the weight and like work together and overcome greater than say the sum of your parts.
Yes, especially with players who are 100% uh, knowledgeable with each other. And it looks like we will be starting in just a minute on Lijiang Tower. Now, the maps, as we said earlier, on Lijiang Tower are Control Center, Garden, and Night Market.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if we're going to be visiting all three of these, not necessarily in that order, but what comp do you expect to see on Garden? Because I have a feeling that's going to be our first map. Of course, I
What
could be wrong.
When it comes to garden, typically dive is what is preferred with a mix of Pharah or Echo, some type of like aerial projectile style character. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a Winston pop out with a Diva to boot, or even a Zarya that we've seen work in some of the stages of Overwatch League. I wouldn't anticipate too much rush because one of the main things about gardens is that you have to cross a bridge in order to get to the main fight, and if your team is running a rush style composition and you're caught on that bridge, you're very susceptible to getting booped off by a wrecking ball or a Pharah that places her concussion mine very well, and that sets your team back a lot. And in terms of control center, the vast majority of the time, the team to cap the point first will win the match, just based off of having alt charge sooner and being able to defend easier with that. So I would imagine both teams want to run, wrecking ball or some form of dive.
All right, and we are finally heading in.
Let's go.
Let's go. And the first map will be Night Market. Dang it, I was wrong. It was neither.
Unfortunate, but I do imagine we will see potentially some Symmetra style, shenanigans, as Lijiang Night Market is famous for.
Lijiang Night Market is the Symmetra teleporter map. If you guys haven't played in an organized environment, one thing that you might not realize is that from a very specific spot, you can teleport directly onto the window and just drop onto point. And that's what it looks like New Jersey's going to be going for here. Are they going to be running Monkey Hog? I don't think. Maybe?
It would be very interesting.
It would be. It would be. Aw, they baited us by adding time. All right. So it looks like a dive coming out here from New Jersey, and it looks like a double shield rush style. No, I'm not. Come on, guys, you're making me sound dumb here. I mean, to be fair, I don't need a lot to do that. But in this team comp, I'm actually going to say that there's a slight advantage for Royal because of the fact that they have the Reaper and it's going to be close range and the Baptiste for the Immortality Field. And
I'm inclined to agree with you. Both TPs are out and immediately Complex is taken to swinging away. Royal has a stronger foothold on the point already as New Jersey is forced out immediately. And right away, Soldier 76 is going down for New Jersey as New Jersey is trying to, despite being a man down, try to inch into the point a little bit further. But it looks like this point is going to go to the way of Royal, as ultimate charge is built up, and the cap will go over to Royal as we continue forward.
The window's ready though, and that's a shatter. That's a huge shatter. Oh my god.
Oh my! I think the Baptiste ultimate there was a little bit overcommitted. I don't think it was entirely necessary, but regardless, the team fight has been won for Royal. Santa, what exactly went wrong there for New Jersey from the jump?
So from the jump, they started out with the Soldier 76, who isn't a bad character, but all in all, he's just not built to fight in close ranges like Reaper and Sigma. The Zarya gets a lot of value in drawn-out fights. Oh wait, is that a teleporter behind?
What an interesting strategy there, as both Symmetra ults are sent out. Another Shadow laid down by Complex, but it gets no value.
That's huge.
There is no protection from it, as Queso nets himself a 4K.
That's insane.
Incredible.
Both teams using quite a few ults there, but and there's a swap now coming out from New Jersey. That was a beautiful ultimate coming out from Quasito, and like you said, the Lucio, like you said earlier about Zenyatta, Lucio wasn't online, so there's nothing counter Sigma ult. And a huge comp swamp right now coming out from New Jersey, which means that Royal is going to have the advantage coming into this team fight.
This is going to be very tough for New Jersey to enter, and dive compositions on this map are not particularly favored, and since Royal are already anchored onto the point, they can just roll over like they are now. Ichitel getting 2 points for himself, followed by Queso knocking out the Soldier 76. Oh, and Baby Diva getting staggered. Oh, this could be dangerous as we approach 85%.
This could be it. That was a beautiful shadow from Jarn Color, just one ultimate. And right now we see the window. Window Fire Strike does 200 damage on the dot. It can one-shot any squishy. Lucio, Moira, Soldier, McCree, any of them get caught in it, they're all dead. And the Death Blossom's ready too. This is, oh no, this is a disaster.
They will get the touch to trigger overtime, but windows are out. Despite a coalescence from New Jersey, I do believe this map is just about done. As the kills come through, beats laid down, and that will have it. Royal secure round 1 on Lijiang.
That just came down to a comp difference, I believe. The Soldier was not nearly as viable, and then after that it was just steamroll. John Carlos hit an insane shatter, and then after that there were no ultimates ever for New Jersey, and they just got outpaced and out ult rotated. That stinks. But that was insanely good play coming out from Royal. And now we're going to be seeing, instead of a Baptiste on the side of Royal, they're coming out with an Ana. But what we see here is very, very typical. Because this white room, this room right here, the server room, right next to the point, there's a lot. Rhines love to swing in there. They love to just run around. The Sigma has the short-term game because of how much damage he can put out, but Zarya, if she can stay alive in these long fights, the only person that does more damage than her when she's fully charged is Bastion.
Absolutely.
So if she can stay alive at full charge, she could single-handedly turn the fight.
I think New Jersey have an interesting idea here, opting for the Hanzo to potentially combo with Zarya's Grav. But as we see the teams make their way towards White Room, it's going to be Royal that takes the majority of the position.
Because of the Lucio.
Absolutely. New Jersey is forced to rotate more towards the point and concede the high ground.
Yes, and Aphrodite got slept, so he could be going down here. Oh, beautiful headshot from Suzuki. Diana just drops immediately, and Royal's going to take first capture for the point. Just beautiful spacing. And now they're going to be able to hold close, and this is not... Oh my...
Not what New Jersey was looking for, definitely.
Definitely not. The Junkrat spam is going to be so hard to come out. But then again, Suzuki just hits one headshot. They go right back in the spawn. Same with Greedy, though.
Yeah, I think it's, as you mentioned, the Lucio being so crucial in these brawl-style compositions allows the Reinhardt to get in and out faster as he swings his hammer. You know, looks like Casito is getting a little ambitious with his energy collecting, as New Jersey is just sort of waiting around to see when an opportunity comes available for them to strike. They start to move in now. Bubbles are out for Zarya. Very interesting indeed. It's a lot of damage potential here, but he is nowhere near the Grav. Oh, the Shatter is insane. The Nano isn't even necessary.
The Nano was beautiful, though. Both teams invested Nano, and Giancarlo used the Shatter just to get it back up. And right now, Royal has an insane advantage because you look at their team comp, Hanzo, Junk, they have a lot of spam, and New Jersey has no way of closing it, no way of closing the distance quickly. They try to run in, the Lucio can just speed everybody out. The flank grab.
The grab is out. The dragons come through, and it's a casual 2K for Sasuke. Aphrodite picks up a kill as well as Casito. This is another team fight won by Royal, and they still have a tire online as well as a beat about ready to come online. This round, this map 1 looks just about over. It'll be interesting to see how New Jersey combats this. The tire gets nothing. Reinhardt slept as he approaches closer to
the Shatter.
He's on he's all alone though. He has no Zarya to pocket him. Oh man, New Jersey is scattered all over the place. It looks like Royal is going to take map 1.
Well, normally, yes, but this is a scrim.
You're entirely right.
This is a scrimmage, so this means that they're going to play all 3 maps. So now we go to the one that I predicted that would come first, and my infinite wisdom, I jinxed it. I jinxed it hard.
Absolutely. Please, please forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, for forgetting that this is a scrimmage. I'm just so used to, watching these type of games. We will be playing the 3rd map, and that being Lijiang Gardens. I imagine we'll see. We mentioned a lot that dive is most popular on this map, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Royal Gaming come out with a symmetric TP strategy, onto the center of where the point is. So it doesn't look like they're swapping to Symmetra just yet. And as we see, New Jersey is opting for a more traditional, I say traditional, they're opting to run the dive. If Complex goes with this Winston, he might run into some issues with with Aphrodite on the Reaper.
Ooh, and it looks like it's about to get started here. So both teams looking for dive tanks. Hammond Monkey. Very, very interesting team comp. I haven't seen this, but
the double boop! There it is! Giancarlo sends the Lucio off with a well-timed grapple.
And another
one for Thickman! Oh, Royal Gaming are just running away with this map.
Ichtel, the only difference in the two team comps right now is the Moira versus the Mercy. And Ichtel might not have the... I gotta say, I like the Moira pick a little bit more here simply because you can throw in the orb. She has a lot more healing, but it doesn't matter how much healing you get if you're booped off the map immediately.
I am inclined to agree. Casito is, in an interesting position here, trying to just manhandle his way through the enemy team. He does, pay with it for his life, but not before Aphrodite takes out Complex as well. One up for New Jersey as Giancarlos is taken out, and New Jersey is going to engage with Coalescence. So this is entirely possible that New Jersey will finally take some percentage in one of these maps here.
The Valkyrie coming in from Mitchell finally ending, and Greedy has a 3k this fight. He might need to use the Blossom though to secure it. He's got it ready for him whenever he needs it. The Minefield drop it down, and Clopage going down. No, this is all going the wrong way.
Oh my.
But this is turning scrappy. Greedy uses his Blossom, gets cancelled immediately. Aphrodite coming up with the clutch immediately, but Sasuke gets knocked off. But this should be 100% a hold. That's disaster for New Jersey. Greedy uses his Death Blossom too late, right in the face of Aphrodite, and he pays for it with his life. And Complex goes down. That's a huge stagger at the end of the fight. Oh no, no!
What an interesting use of Death Blossom there, as Aphrodite, potentially tries to style on the opponents a little bit there. But overall, Royal Gaming will hold on to the point. They have the better ultimate economy here with the beat online. Mines are out for College.
That's a huge feat for both teams.
It looks like this fight will bring the point to 99%, but it will be interesting to see if the flip actually goes through to New Jersey, as Giancarlos dies before he can get the mine off. We will actually see the point go to 88%, and New Jersey will take control of the point.
These fights are still scrappy. It's not even over yet. The Mercy damage boost really doing a lot to just pressure out New Jersey. They can't peek. They get one shot in the head, and if they took any damage before that, they're essentially done for. Ultimate's coming out. Both teams have one support ult and a DPS ult, but the Minefield's the difference right now. Minefield's dropping by Gonzalo.
The Reapers are dual, and it is Greedy, the one that comes out on top, but not before Giancarlos takes out the McCree. Greedy Vikas, again, takes out another player, and the advantage is still for New Jersey. As Wrecking Ball just attempts to stall on point, despite the fact that they have not actually capped it. I don't know if I agree with the stall here, unless Royal can come out with a victory, and it looks like they will not be able to. So, Lucio, he's going to make a swifty retreat. And Wrecking Ball as well, flying away, trying to get mega packs.
Giancarlo could very much die here, but no, it's the other Wrecking Ball that goes down. But Greedy has the Death Blossom. If there's a hasty engage right now, the Monkey diving onto the Reaper. That's dangerous right there. But Greedy has no Wraith and he's purpled. This is bad. This is very bad, but there's no engage. This is last fight territory. If New Jersey win this, it's
that's okay. The point is not at 85% yet, so Giancarlos has more than enough time to come back and contest a beat out despite being ahead by 1. I don't know if I agree with that.
No, Complex. Oh, that's 3.
Ooh, a casual 3K for Greedy. As the point will wind its way down, I do believe New Jersey are gonna end up taking this point.
Especially touch at 97.
Sasuke though with the 2K. Are we seeing the flip?
Make it 3. Oh, the ball's gonna have to touch. Ball's gonna have to touch. No. Oh my gosh, the Reaper's come back. He's got the Blossom. He's gonna use it.
The Blossom will find no value.
But
2 kills coming away for Giancarlos and Thickman. Are we seeing the flip? Reaper has no Wraith for New Jersey. Yeah, I do believe so. I do believe we're seeing a flip.
The flip should come out here, but there's ults being invested. The beat, the high noon,
very late beat.
But this, there's a nano also if need be. But I think this fight, there's no reason to continue this fight for New Jersey. They've lost it. They need to reset right now so they don't get staggered. They don't feed ultimate charge.
Absolutely. Royal did not have 85, or Royal did not have the 99%. So New Jersey could have essentially, given up that fight to try and contest. But with Tatsuo going down early, it looks like there will be no chance for New Jersey to contest. And there you have it, Royal Gaming with a 3-0 sweep for map 1.
The first two maps were very, very dominant. Giancarlo on his Rhine, it looked like he just didn't. There was just no counters. Watch this shatter, beautiful.
Woo!
Oh, as a
An
Reinhardt main, I
absolute
love that. As for the third map, that was a lot closer. There were just a few things that went wrong for New Jersey that prevented them from cleaning it up. First of all, I feel like they used too many ults in one fight situations. Uh, they want to fight, they used an ult. They want to fight, they used ult. Ult management was a bit wonky on both sides, I dare say.
Mhm.
Both. I don't think diving a Reaper is the best. Solo diving a Reaper as Winston's the best idea.
I'm definitely inclined to agree with you. It definitely seemed like Royal Gaming had more of an idea and more confidence in their game plan to execute what exactly they wanted to do. New Jersey seemed at times a little bit not quite on the same page. It seemed like Complex was diving, or excuse me, Queso or Keto was going in alone and not really like with the support of his team. But overall, both teams definitely a lot to take away from both sides.
Without a doubt. The first two maps, beautifully played by Royal. Their Rhine style of brawl just completely outpaced New Jersey's dive or whatever attempts that were thrown at it. But for the third map, when there was no brawl able to be seen, New Jersey held a very close flame. Just tiny differences between the two. To be honest, I'm surprised we haven't seen Sigma in any comp other than just the first map.
I agree. Sigma, as much as popular and as strong as he is still a difficult character to grasp. If if you're trying to work together as a team, and maybe your mechanics like aren't where you want them to be, so going with different tank picks is entirely viable as well.
Without a doubt. And it looks like somebody says in chat we're going to Paris.
Please
I
no.
I hope not.
Although I
Uh,
will say, I feel like Paris is slightly overhated, just slightly. Like in
with
my opinion, I would take Paris over Hanamura.
I disagree completely.
Ooh.
Hanamura is an amazing map.
I'm inclined to agree with you. I think we're just gonna have to agree to disagree here.
I I feel the same way about Horizon that you do Paris though. I love Horizon.
I'm on that same page. I think Horizon as well, especially after the changes, is a much better map. It allows for a lot of different styles of gameplay, and that's what I feel like the best maps in Overwatch are the ones where you can play more or less, not necessarily whatever you want, but a variety of different styles.
Yes, my most hated 2CP is for sure Temple of Anubis.
Ooh, I don't know if I agree with that one. For
Just
me, I've seen too many classic moments on Temple of Anubis to hate it. As well as a main tank player myself, I love to be able to play Winston from time to time. Even though right now he isn't in the strongest position, he's still fun to play on point A, being able to get up in enemies' faces and bounce away a lot of open space. But looks like we're going to Rialto next. Another one of those unsung better maps in Overwatch. I'd be inclined to say.
I I agree. It's had some beautiful moments on it. It's got long sight lines for Widow if you want to run her Ash. It's got enclosed places where you can sit, hide, run, brawl, double shield. And oh no, wait, I lied. We
And
lied.
we got
It's
debated,
we got you baited. It's Scrims row.
of course.
Uh,
If there was ever going to be a hybrid map and we're in a scrim environment, you can always assume King's Row. It is the El Clasico. It is one of the. Would you say it is the best map in Overwatch?
I'd say it's one of the best. I'm not gonna say it is the best, but it's certainly one of the best. It is, but this this works heavily towards Royal Gaming. As we saw first in Night Market, they absolutely destroyed New Jersey on their brawl.
Absolutely.
So
I think whichever team has the better idea of how they want to execute their game plan and execute it quickly and effectively, I think they're going to be the team that makes it out on top. And as far as we've seen, it looks like Royal Gaming is closer to that than New Jersey is.
especially when it comes to Brawl, we saw two 100-0s when Brawl was on the table, and the only time where there was no Brawl, that's when it was close. And one of the Scrims row, or King's row as it's more commonly referred to, is is a very fun Reinhardt map simply because of the multiple choke points that Rein's shield can so perfectly fit in. It makes it very hard for anybody to just walk past it, and the choke points are very easy to hold, meaning that goats. That's all I gotta say on the matter.
Ah, yes, goats. The long, the the dominant composition of many seasons past, now firmly put to rest because of 222. Nonetheless, that style of gameplay, even though the composition itself is no longer able to be played, we see tenets of the style of goats, throughout. And as we, between timing ultimates and just generally setting up for engagement and just being smarter at the game in general, I think a lot of fans of Overwatch have goats in a way to thank for that, but unfortunately, it just lasted too long and everyone hates it now. So, but we are in the game now, and the teams are getting set up, ready to go. It's too early to say what either team is looking at composition wise, but we do see a Widowmaker potentially.
Well,
Psych. You
I
gotta set up the lobby real quick again. Gotta refresh
we got debated again.
again. Oh man, just one of those kind of nights, unfortunately. So, but as we mentioned, King's Row definitely favors the brawl style, at least for points A and B. We can anticipate to see probably Reinhardt, although with the Wrecking Ball teased, I wouldn't be surprised to see Ball Sigma as well. The 3-ball comp, as I like to refer to it.
I don't think I've heard that one before. I've
It's just for
never.
me, and now all the beautiful viewers.
Yeah, no problem. Just trying to help production not get their ankles broken. Thank you so very much to the lobby host from preventing us from getting our ankles broken. And it looks like we will be starting back up again. First and second point, very brawl heavy, as you mentioned. On the third point, there's a little bit of high ground that I've seen some teams, not all teams, mind you, but some teams swap their Zarya to a D.Va for just to contest high ground. And it looks like we will be hopping in just a minute. Probably. No,
Absolutely.
but come.
Once again, thank you to Champira for being able to set up. Sorry.
Champira.
Hey, you know what? If I was good at words, I'd be teaching literature. Champria, thank you once again for being able to set up these scrimmages between these two teams. And if you are an organization that would like to set up a scrim for yourself, log on to champria.gg and find a partner today.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I have used them for quite a few of the tournament matches that I've been in, and I'm kind of curious about this team comp.
I am as well. It looks like double shield is what New Jersey is favoring, at least initially. But like we always say,
they're the attackers. They can swap whenever they want.
Exactly, and it's still early before players like to mess around a little bit in spawn before we actually get an idea of what they want to run. But it does look like we're going to see that 3-ball comp that I like to refer to, but also known as Sigma and Wrecking Ball. It definitely feels like this is the dominant meta, at least for now, at least before the proper pros of the Overwatch League, come back to season and really show us who are the strongest.
What to do.
Exactly.
Yes, guide us.
Now, it does look like Royal is opting for the more traditional Rein Zarya along with a Mei. I will say, though, looking at their support line between Ana and Zenyatta, it seems like if if Royal gets overwhelmed, I don't know if the healing is going to be there exactly to support them.
I think that the healing might not be a problem. However, controlling their engagements will.
Well, we'll just have to wait to see as the game begins now. Both teams rolling out, ready to meet each other face to face. Royal Gaming opting not to hold at the choke as most teams would, but the
The
Sigma
wall.
walled off early. He's
But
far
they
enough
can't
away
push
to
him.
he can't be punished. Both teams just sort of buying their time, not really engaging one or the other. The way Royal is playing around this corner means that they are 100% safe from these Widow's sightlines, and effectively makes her kind of
Blue's
useless
low.
and has to force her into positions she may not be comfortable with. But as we see in the back, Kloj is pressuring the backline as he skirts out. I don't know how exactly with this composition New Jersey breaks Royals defense right now. As I say that though, Blue is taken out, but not before Aphrodite takes out Complex and Giancarlos takes out Tatsunumike.
That was a pretty risky res, to say the least. And now you see a swap coming out from Kloj, and it looks like there's going to be a full team comp swap, which
There we go.
they wasted a minute of their time. It's not that big of a deal, but remind me after this round to talk about how New Jersey could have broken that. But right now, let's continue on with this. Greedy has almost got his Enfer sights up.
Bubbles are out for both Zarias as New Jersey makes their way towards the point, but a Nano comes out on the Rhine. Wall is out, he can't get any support, as it looks like, although the kill feed is even for both teams, Ichitel takes out Kloj, and it looks like Royal are going to continue to hold here. As, oh man, Giancarlos is getting very greedy with his positioning.
He got it!
Oh my lord.
Got it, but he might be.
Does he make it over the surf? He does not. This gives New Jersey a great opportunity to just run onto the point. Now that the Reinhardt for Royal Gaming is out, it looks like they might just cap here.
Oh, but the Blizzard, I was going to say watch out for the Maywall. And now it's even again.
Nano out. Oh, this is a very scrappy fight as the Transcendence comes out for Royal as well. Oh,
beautiful shattered. Zarya's going to go down.
The Bionade means that Blue was completely vulnerable, but it looks like Royal is going to be able to hold on to this point thanks to the Bob.
Bob actually did something?
It's honestly, you gotta see it to believe it.
I don't believe it, and I'm not a huge fan of using the Nano there on the Reinhardt when you have Blade sitting there waiting. I think that's a waste. That's a waste of.
It may be
very good chance.
The Royal does have a Grav to work with here soon, and it will be an opportunity for a lot of players to wait. As I say that, Giancarlos lands a nasty shatter and gets himself a nice little 3-piece. It looks like Royal's going to be able to hold this as 1 minute is left on the clock. In New Jersey, all they have to work with is a blade, not even a Nano to go with it. As the walls come out before any engagement is possible.
And a Valkyrie, so a damage boosted blade is essentially a Nano blade without the damage reduction. But there is a grab from Blue that could easily counter this. Blizzard and Transcendence both should be coming up mid-fight, so this has to be a hasty engage.
Valkyrie's out as well as the blade, but the grab eats him! And it looks like Blue, with that grab, he saved all game, is going to be able to save this point for Royal. Honestly, didn't look like Royal was in too much of an issue there as Ichitel finishes up the brig, and it looks like Royal's gonna full hold point A for Kings Row as the wall comes out and the Blizzard prevents
just for good
New
measure.
Jersey.
Oh, but it's a touch.
He will be able to touch, but between the Transcendence, he will not be able to find any value. Greedy does find a pick,
but the Nano.
Yeah, between the Nano, it doesn't look like New Jersey's going to be able to get any progress here, and that will be a complete and utter full hold for Royal Gaming.
I feel like, personally, there was just a huge team comp difference. From what we saw with the triple ball comp that you named it, the main purpose of that comp is to displace, play it like we saw the play it like we saw the 4-1-1 back, the 4 DPS, 1 tank, 1 support. The Mercy just damage boosting one person, and just flying around making sure everybody's alive. The Wrecking Ball running in, creating disruption in tons of different angles. And right there was just 2 different angles. The Sigma was on an off angle, Ball was just coming in from the front, and all the damage was coming in from the front. A lot of shield pressure, but Royal could just easily retreat. And when the when the comp swap came out, we saw just how comfortable Royal was on that brawl of theirs, especially with the Mei. Aphrodite put up an amazing clinic on the Mei.
Absolutely, and as we start round 2 here, well, in about 20 seconds or so, it looks like New Jersey is coming out with a very interesting composition to hold point A here. Now, since this is a scrimmage, even though traditionally all Royal Gaming would need is just 33%, we will be playing through all the way to the end of point C. But it's very... I'm very interested in seeing how New Jersey manages to hold with this dive-style composition. So far, they're doing a pretty good job as Complex takes out Artemis, as well as Greedy taking out Sasuke. Complex is taken out of the fight, but unfortunately for Royal Gaming, they're already down 3 members, make that 4, and a very successful hold for New Jersey.
Greedy already has his dragon. That's
incredibly impressive. 70%. Now, he doesn't have a Zarya in order to combo with, but nonetheless, a spacing dragon, can still be very effective, especially with the brawl composition that wants to play tighter together. This is very interesting.
Without a doubt, I gotta say, I thought that Royal played that really well. They stayed hunkered down on the point, away from all the sightlines. But this time, New Jersey was holding so many different sightlines that they just couldn't stay away from all the danger. Now the Monkey's chasing out the Lucio. If there's an overextension here.
And that's what it looks like. It looks like it may potentially be an overextension by Complex, but luckily he's able to get back in time and pressure away Royal alongside his Wrecking Ball duo. Oh, but I think Complex, he's going in with the Primal. Very interesting engagement choice because his teammate is being decimated completely behind him.
Aphrodite picks up a nice 2k. Both of the DPS going down in a 1v3, and Greedy comes back resurrected, but it's not going to be able to do much in this fight.
A nice little sleep from Tatsunumike, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter too much as Royal are going to come in and take point A, and they're going to move on down the avenue and continue on with King's Row.
And something that you'll see happen here a lot is just having one person on cart while the rest of the team pushes up. This is on purpose. This is what you want to see because taking space and preventing respawns like Close just dies, sir. And now there's 10 more seconds before their whole team ready. And
Blade comes out for Aphrodite. Aphrodite is bloodthirsty, looking for more. The Mercy comes down. A casual clean up 4K from Aphrodite. Jeez. You didn't have to do that to him, Aphrodite.
And that wasn't even with the nano. He had the nano. He just was like, nah, I don't want it. We're saving that. And now the aggressive hold, you want to see this. You love to see this if you're Royal Club. This is the best position that they can be in. They have controlled the point. Now New Jersey has to use their abilities to engage.
Yeah, as we will see, the car will pause a little bit as we get close to this corner here, as New Jersey will have another attempt to hold, as ultimates are coming out for both team. Beats down, nanos are down. Sasuke with the first pick on the Tatsumi Miike as mines are down for New Jersey, so pushing the car forward is going to be a little tricky, even though they are already down 4 kills. You know, as I say that, it does look like Royal, off the back of, you know, each member of the team contributing in their own way, are going to be able to cap onto point B and push it that much further to completing the map.
7 total ults were used that fight. 7.
Ooh.
4 from Royal Club and 3 from Jersey. And there was an amazing sleep by Artemis at the beginning of the fight onto Cloge when he was still on ball, and that prevented the dive coming in that needed to pressure out the support. So that was an amazing play that I just want to point out. Right.
Aphrodite is on a massacre.
He's unstoppable. He's
Ooh,
got that
Sasuke forced out of
picture.
position by the Winston as Nano and Bomb are out for both. Ooh, Blue with the casual 3K on the back,
Blue.
taking out Mercy, Soldier, and McCree. It's entirely possible Royal will continue this card forward, not before both tanks are dealt with, the Primaling Monkey, but man, Royal, they just look clean in every aspect of the game.
They look clean. They're making mistakes for sure, but New Jersey just isn't able to punish them. Aphrodite got slept in the back line, but managed to find a kill anyway, and he was just living back there. He claimed that real estate as his own. Complex is having to use his abilities to engage, and he's going to pay for it with his life. No, everything's going wrong. This is absurd. You can't do this to them, Royal.
Here comes the Nano Blade.
And
not a kill yet. There's one. Do we see another? Yes, we do on the Alma. And as the Wrecking Ball dies trying to stall, Winston is going to be the last line of defense. He falls as well. Soldier is not even going to make it back into spawn, and Royal Gaming. Good lord, they cap with quite the healthy time back remaining. Now, as a scrim rules, the map will conclude here. Man, I just gotta say, Royal, they're looking pretty nice.
They're looking pretty nice. New Jersey isn't able to do a whole lot to stop them, unfortunately. New Jersey's getting pushed out of their comfort zone, if I can say the least. They're running their first defense. They dropped down, they jumped out, and they used their abilities to disengage. The second fight, their second defense, they jumped in, they engaged, and they were out of the sights of their healers and supports and DPS. And that caused the whole defense to fall. And every single fight after that, they also used their abilities to engage, which left them no way to disengage. And Royal Gaming's just like, oh, great, 500 health points right in front of me. Don't mind if I do. And that just led to them gaining a lot more ult charge because they were able to do a lot more damage due to New Jersey not using their resources and cooldowns as effectively as they could have.
Absolutely. It never really felt like there was, time between fights. It always felt like Royal Gaming was digging for more, even after the fight was concluded. Aphrodite, in particular, being able to pick off so many members of New Jersey after the fights have concluded. Honestly, a pretty insane performance from Royal.
Yeah, that few things. If I was a coach, I'd point out some things, but at this time, it's time to appreciate how well everybody's doing. There's individual plays on both sides. Tatsuna made some really good sleeps. She slept Aphrodite on her. Aphrodite still managed to get the kill afterwards, but that's...
All right, looks like we will be taking a 2-minute break for a little bit of coaching on the side of New Jersey, as well as we will see a substitution on Angel for Ichitel. We may potentially be, waiting a little bit longer for the next game to start, which will be on Rialto, like we were mentioning before, King's Row. One of those unsung better maps in Overwatch, I'd say. In fact, on Rialto, it was the site of the Vancouver Titans, their stage 1, their record-setting pace on against the San Francisco Shock on attack. It was something like 5 minutes remaining in the time bank when they capped against the San Francisco Shock. I
think it was 3 minutes. Rialto is notoriously hard to capture. San Francisco did it with 43 seconds left, and everybody's like, well, that's a series. Nobody ever captures Rialto. And then Vancouver just did it anyway.
Absolute unreal performance. And speaking of San Francisco, this was also the site of Season 2's round 1 exit for the San Francisco Shock before they went to the lower bracket and absolutely tore apart and won it all. This was the site for the famous C9 at the end, which gave Atlanta Reign an advancement.
I don't want to be reminded of that. I really don't. Before this map gets started, who do you think are the key players to watch out for both sides?
I think from what we've seen so far, I think Aphrodite on the in the DPS role has been absolutely tearing it up. But Greedy as well for New Jersey has done his part as well on these sniper characters last round on Hanzo, getting a couple key picks. Just unfortunately, his team not being able to capitalize on them all times. It looks like he's teasing the Widowmaker here. That might just be for early picks. He might swap off later. But between Aphrodite and Greedy, I think that's going to be the matchup I'm most looking forward to seeing.
I also want to see exactly how Complex adapts to what John Carlos is throwing at him, because as of right now, John Carlos is, to say the least, just completely shattering him, destroying, pushing up, taking as much space as he wants. John Carlos is just dominating the whole entire round, and Complex hasn't been able to do much about it. So if Complex is able to take back some space, it might give Greedy the ability to 1v1 and have more time to win these engagements.
Absolutely. As the composition slowly takes shape, as we wait for both teams to ready up, it looks like New Jersey are opting to stick with this Sigma and Wrecking Ball composition. I imagine what's going to happen is Cloge is going to go around the back alley of Rialto and potentially try to displace Royal Gaming for Greedy as well as Frosty to pick out vulnerable supports and the like.
This looks like the team comp they're running. I mean, the Ana really here is vulnerable. I don't like the Ana pick. It's too vulnerable.
I agree.
If it's and the Zen's also extremely vulnerable. They can't pocket each other as well as need be. Lana has to have long sight lines just to be able to heal any of the tanks, and if she's out of position, if she can get picked off very easily. And Tatsuna now, because of the fact that there's no mercy, he can't be damage boosted. He can't be solo healed. He has to win his duels with just his aim. There's no damage boost. There's no res if anything goes wrong. This is a very greedy composition, looking for the headshots, the nano boost, and just it's very greedy on the side of Royal. It looks like they're sticking with Brawl.
Yeah, it almost makes you. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say it almost makes you wonder if New Jersey would be better off running a Mercy instead of either the Honor or the Zenyatta. Considering they have the Echo pick. But as the teams make way, it looks like Royal Gaming are opting for a Brawl composition with a Pharah without a Mercy pocket. A very unusual pick.
And nobody to really heal the Pharah either. The Brig armor packs, all that. They have the Aphrodite spawn camping. Oh, no.
Very unfortunate for Greedy. Like we mentioned at the jump, Aphrodite being a huge difference maker in this matchup, as New Jersey is going to have to wait for the response to come through. Complex has taken a very aggressive position despite that, and the cart does manage to make its way past the bridge.
But that's where you need to be if you're a Sigma. You got to sit up there. He's providing the off angles, and now all the space can be taken. Ooh. Nobody can occupy that high ground without fear of getting discorded, one-shot rocked.
That's dangerous, though. Complex gets boofed off, but fortunately for him, Blue decided to grasp there instead of punish him, as well as Young Carlos holding up shield and not swinging at him. Aphrodite again with the pick onto Greedy. Greedy cannot get anything done here. Aphrodite, despite not having that Mercy pocket, which normally Pharah is not viable without that Mercy pocket. But as we're seeing here, Aphrodite takes that notion and throws it right out the window. They are doing their best, their best Ding impression, honestly.
Flux is coming out. The
Transcendence as well. The Immortality field is out as well. Wrecking Ball stunned up. Also out for both teams. Shatter as well as the Bob. And that will be Royal Gaming holding this corner with an iron grasp.
And that's a beautiful... Tatsuna pressed he used his Transcendence too early. Complex used his own Flux. Tatsuna, he should have saved that for... He should have saved that for the Shatter, or for the Barrage, or for the Flux. It's... This could go wrong very quickly. It's already not going well, but one bad ult decision, this could all go very bad.
There are still 2 minutes in the bank, so there is time for New Jersey to rally again, but as Cloj goes down, it's going to make it that much harder. Greedy does finally find Aphrodite, so no mercy on either side means that the team will be even for the most part. It's going to be Royal that has the longer walk back to spawn, so it's in New Jersey's court here to capitalize on that pick.
They also have a Nano waiting.
Giancarlos is taking so much damage up front, but it's Complex that falls on the high ground. Like we said at the jump, no mercy means that the healing is very iffy and can't exactly reach the people that might need it in time. But the minefield doesn't seem to get the value intended as Royal Gaming continue to hold this corner with an iron grasp.
And Complex was out of position. He was on the high ground away from everybody that could see him. The window coming out maybe displaced, but a flank barrage? Do you see a flank barrage?
There it is. Does not get enough value, and it is actually Aphrodite that falls to it's Alana.
And the copy coming
canceled. Out. Oh, there's just ultimates flying everywhere. Here's Bob for good measure as well. Punishing his one. Oh my.
He's got another one? Oh no. That was so many ults used for the side of New Jersey. They used mines, they used nano, they used trans, they used copy, and they got nothing. This is heartbreaking.
It's not all said and done. Complex does have the gravitic flux, and if he can rally with his team and get a proper timing down, Royal doesn't have anything to fend it with.
Outside of an immortality field, and the Shatter, both tank ults ready right here. Here's what it comes down to.
Catches 3.
Beautiful.
The immortality is out there. There are no kills as a result of the gravitic flux. Closed falls early, but Greedy catches Aphrodite. Stops hitting with the 2K. Oh, it's just disaster for New Jersey. All that's left is Greedy. And there you have it. Cloj might be able to touch here, but no. It's all over. Royal Gaming hold the corner beautifully.
That was a beautiful Shatter. I do support Greedy's mid-map swap onto McCree. It helped a lot with the map. It just wasn't enough. Just little overextensions here and there. Like Complex going up onto the high ground a bit too far where supports couldn't see him, being all cut off. Stacking support ults when it wasn't needed. Just those small little itty bitty things. Using nano, copy, trans at the same time, and then the flux negates every single one of them. So
it definitely feels like New Jersey has a little bit of a sinking issue with the rest of their teammates. And it's one of those things where it's early in the spring semester, and it's entirely possible that these issues get ironed out in time. With more scrimmages and more practices in general. But as it stands right now, Royal Gaming is just having their way, and taking this entire scrimmage by storm.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me! Please no Bastion. We're streaming this, guys. Come on.
They have families. Please, Aphrodite.
Please, God. And when you say spring semester has just started, some schools it hasn't even started yet. And it looks like we're going to see Doomfist instead of Bastion, so...
There we go. Aphrodite is capable of mercy, as it stands.
I'm not so sure about that.
This Doomfist pick, though, is interesting. As I don't really see a potential dive target for the Doom against New Jersey.
The Ana is the main source of what looks to be a dive, since she's very squishy, but right now it's just
but even then, the corner is being held by both teams. Immortality field is out, and Giancarlos taking out Complex again, and it's Blue that picks up a 2K to open this corner up, and Cloj is gonna do his damnedest to try and hold on here, but it looks like. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Royal Gaming is going to be able to storm their way to capping point A after one more hold, potentially here for New Jersey.
And Greedy swaps off onto his, he swaps onto the Widow, hoping to do something to counter the Ashe, which, especially with a mercy.
Oh, that Shatter.
The shatter, the boop, the everything. There's
This
not
man
gonna
does
be
not care. He will do what he wants. Royal
when
Gaming
he wants it.
advance onto point A, and they are going to take as much space as New Jersey probably doesn't want to give them, but has no choice but to concede. Aphrodite once again, even after the fight is supposedly over, taking out Greedy Vikas.
And right now, Complex is way out of position. He's trying to hold space alone. There's and oh gosh, that could have been very bad if the supports of New Jersey weren't able to make it out.
Yeah, it looks like. Oh man, it looks like Royal Gaming is going to be hold all the way up to this corner. I don't see how New Jersey breaks through this. The mines will come out, so there's a potential opening there. Blue is dangerously low with a biotic grenade, but will find enough cover to be able to stay safe as the rally comes out from Angel, as he's a one-man wrecking crew. Sasuke's Bob manages to pick off Cloge, as the card is just going to keep rolling on through, and point B...
And it's reached the second checkpoint. It has...
my.
And they nanoed Greedy to try and get anything done. New Jersey just has to use so many resources to engage into the fight. By the time the fight actually starts, they're dead.
Complex out of position, gets picked off by Aphrodite. Oh, Royal Gaming is just going to steamroll their way onto point C and potentially completing the map here. Gravitic is out from blue.
A Valkyrie
does not catch
out.
anything. Looks like he was stunned out of it somehow.
Ooh, a rock maybe from Complex. Lena uses her Valkyrie and a Meteor Strike coming in. Ooh.
That's a decent pick onto Aphrodite, and Complex finding a pick with his Gravitic Fox. Dragon out, manages to get Artemis, and it looks like New Jersey is going to be able to hold here.
That's amazing. This is a much needed stabilization. If they can get the starter onto Sasuke, they do. This is what's needed. Sasuke, sorry.
Absolutely, it was hard. It was a hard fought capture. They did have to expend, what was it, 3 ultimates to be able to hold this point.
But then again, there were a lot of ults used also from the side of Royal.
Absolutely, but when you
flopped on to the close.
Oh, no! An ambitious shatter net yields profit as the entirety of New Jersey is taken out with a team kill. And it's going to be Close that tries to touch here, but I think this map is just about done as Giancarlos is touching the spawn doors.
Cloge also fell off the map there. There was no shielding available. Mines come out and started the fight, and Rally comes out to mirror. Copy coming out from Frost down to the Reinhardt counter pin, and it's going to be a nano boost just trying to keep that Echo Copy alive, trying to make another shatter be brought up. Sasuke going to be throwing in the Bob here potentially. He's got it. He can use it whenever he wants. Complex has the Flux. Soft disengage coming in.
The duplicate is out as Complex sends out the Gravitic, nets kills as Angel, Sasuke, and Artemis are down. Still fighting on point as Bob is doing his darndest. But it looks like New Jersey is going to be able to hold here.
They are indeed, but that was a costly fight. Once again, 3 ults required. Well, 4 ults including the Nano, but New Jersey almost has the Nano
Aphrodite
again. Oh, poor Aphrodite.
I know they're in different pantheons, but Aphrodite doing his best Loki impression, trying to sneak around, but unfortunately gets caught out. It will be that will be a decent stagger for New Jersey, as I don't necessarily think Royal is going to wait around too long for Aphrodite to get back, as they are still engaging here. Barrier is down for Giancarlos, as Complex has to back up more. The Gravitic is out. He catches 2, but he's stunned. Blue is stunned out of Gravitic.
That's it. But the shatter.
Oh, it's absolute pandemonium.
Complex stays alive just only due to the Nano. And it's stable. Complex is going to have another Flux.
It does feel like Royal is losing some of their composure as ultimates are being flung in and out, just trying to get this map over with. They feel like it's theirs. They feel like they're owed this map, but New Jersey is saying nay, and they are holding firm. 2 minutes left on the clock. Not a ton of ultimates for either team out after this fight, but it does look like the minefield is coming out for Cloge, but will not net 2 minutes. I would go as far as to say that minefield was not necessary.
I disagree. It bought them some desperately needed time for the res to go back onto Tsuno. Kloj in the back line gets Sundown able to make it out, and Valkyrie copy coming down. This is one never-ending fight. Sasuke gets headshot, nearly dies, but the armor saves him.
Oh, Complex caught out. I am amazed Complex does not die there, as the peel is strong enough, and Bob is being sent out. Kloj gets taken out. Oh, but the Bob is sleeping, unfortunately, will not find any value, as Angel, though, is taken out.
Oh, the shatter! Wait, don't C9. Don't C9.
There's
Don't
a potential for a C9 here, but luckily, New Jersey is able to reconvene on the point and not allow for that C9.
All right,
Just gonna be clean.
I just want to point out Frosty. That was an insane play. He came in, he copied the Rhine, came in with a pin, killed one. He got two more on the shatter, got nanoed, and then killed two more, and made sure that there was no C9. So that was an amazing play from them. Props to them.
Absolutely. What was looking like it was going to be a steamroll for Royal Gaming, might just be a hold here on point C. As I say that, though, Tatsumi Miike is taken out by Aphrodite. There is an opportunity as the Shatter comes through, finds two. 3 ultimates out now for Royal Gaming as they net the kills they need, and this should be the map. There it is.
I was gonna say something about how you shouldn't use that many ults, but they were so close. I would have done the same exact thing. I'd be like, all right, team, press Q. It's that simple.
Absolutely. New Jersey made them fight for it, but at the end of the day, it does seem that Royal will take their 3rd map in a row. Now, I do believe we will. Okay. So we will be. What is the last map here? Is going to be 2 CP. I mean, what do you think New Jersey can do here to rally and try to at least take a map off of Royal Gaming here?
Well, they've got to find the comp that they ran at the very end there worked. The only thing that the ball Sigma, when they had a position to defend from, it worked really well. The Echo copy, the Nano, I loved it. Hanamura's a decent map for ball Sigma, so they just have to play very carefully. If they overextend once, everybody knows first point of any assault map is just scary. One mistake, one headshot, and Aphrodite's been hitting a lot of those. They've been hitting a lot of headshots, stagger fight kills that have no sense in being kills. They're hitting them. It's insane how much they're doing. Greedy's putting in a lot of work. Frosty, she's doing her own fair share on Echo. She's doing a lot. Very good Reinhardt play, I dare say. Stepping up to Giancarlo and making sure that he can't play the way he wants to with somebody at 600% ult charge. And as I say that, Giancarlo's being taken out for Ichtel, and Angel's going out for Thickman.
Yes, and this should be the last map of the scrimmage here as we approach Hanamura. I've mentioned not one of my favorite maps in particular, but nonetheless does open it up. It is a map that allows for a decent amount of creativity and compositions. Do you anticipate that we see Wrecking Ball and Sigma here as well, or do you think we maybe go to more Brawl? Maybe we go to Double Shield with the Orisa Sigma. What do you think, Santa?
Well, I personally really think that that Royal's going to hold exactly how they did on King's Row, that same exact team comp. As for attack for Royal, they're probably going to run a sim TP directly onto point. For attack for New Jersey, I'm expecting to see potentially a Ball Sigma, Echo, Hanzo, as it worked for them last time. But then again, Symmetra TPing onto point is very realistic.
Definitely. When there's a choke as small as the doors are in Hanamura, sometimes a sim TP just right on the point is what you need to break through. As we see a rather interesting tank composition choice for Royal coming out here. I don't imagine they'll stick onto it because Winston has been teased a lot throughout this scrimmage, and unfortunately he's just not in a position right now meta-wise to be good. Yeah, as we see the switch over, Ichitel playing the Sigma.
I gotta say though, I love very good Winston play. Winston is mechanically maybe not one of the toughest heroes, but when you see a Winston primaling and they're extremely good at it, it's an art. Aphrodite here onto the Junkrat. And, well, I gotta say, I didn't expect that.
Blue slowly making his way back to the spawn, probably swapping out for a tank that has a little bit more survival, a little bit more gusto to it. As still coming back to the spawner. This is we're just waiting for the teams to get position here. There we go. Blue is swapping to the
Arithmetic.
reset. It is going to be double shield that we're holding as we just wait for the teams to ready up.
Double shield and sleeper. Boo. Also, just want to point out, Ishel's on the high ground. He's got his, he did the double jump with the Sigma orbs, and he was able to get up there. Now, I gotta say, I think New Jersey's going to take this point first fight. They just teleport directly onto point, wall off any chance of contesting, and that's it.
I agree. What's going to come down to is how coordinated New Jersey is, as they run into some issues with the Junkrat, but quickly the rat has been thwarted as they advance their way onto point. The scout Junkrat was able to point out that New Jersey were playing the TP strat as they advance onto the point and already have a tick. Yeah, I think Royal is just going to give this up here because unfortunately there's not much they can do. A second tick nearly secured, and all of Royal, they are sent home packing to spawn to point B.
Aphrodite just, he was a bit too far up, unfortunately.
I agree.
They were just a bit overextended. I like the idea of having the trap there. Oh, Lena? They fell off the TP probably. That stinks. Now they just have to wait, and now Royal probably has some idea that they don't know. They know now.
They know now.
They know now.
Cuts them out and is going to start peppering his way, slowly building that ult charge that, unfortunately, he's not necessarily close enough to. But Aphrodite, because of that scout mission, was able to secure a Riptire and does get a kill on the Greedy Vicus. Continuing to slow this stagger down. New Jersey cannot make anything happen.
Ichto got frozen there, and Aphrodite's just sitting on one of the most dangerous off angles I've ever seen in my life behind them. I'd be surprised if they don't get taken out, to be honest.
Yeah, it does feel like with Royal's position on the point, all of New Jersey needs to be grouped up together. As Complex starts to make his way onto the point alone, if the rest of the team doesn't rally behind him soon, he's going to be caught out yet again.
Without a doubt, the Symmetra is going to be able to charge on those double shields. Nano coming out, he's going to get out mid-fight. This
gets taken out.
Oh, High Noon.
High Noon, that's nothing as New Jersey has secured a tick here, and I think it's possible New Jersey takes this whole round. Very impressive stuff from New Jersey as we've seen them finally execute a strategy together and with focus. As Ultimates come out here just to clean up the point, it's going to be theirs in just 1 second here, and there you have it. New Jersey with a very healthy time bank secure round one.
Cloge was off on an off angle. They were flanking. They were behind the entire team. Cloge was I was surprised she wasn't killed, to be completely honest. Complex was pushing up alone. Lena had to go rescue Cloge, and the only reason that Complex lived, I think, was because of the beautifully timed nano, the beautifully timed wall to stop the High Noon. It was very coordinated, especially the first teleport. Unfortunately, Lana fell off. That stinks, but luckily it didn't cost them the round.
Absolutely. It will be interesting to see if Royal opts to mirror the strategy with the Symmetric TP as their own. So far, I don't know how likely that is, considering they're teasing this Roadhog and Reaper composition as well as the Soldier. Looks like they're just going to play the point honestly as they swap to a Mei here. Mei Reaper, along with Hog Zarya and Batiste Zen.
There is a Symmetra on defense here. I don't think I've ever seen that. This is an interesting variation. Blue going on to the Reinhardt, and it's going to be a hard brawl. Hard.
Absolutely. Both teams brawling out as Zarya bubbles are out for blue. As the teams are meeting each other in the spawn doors mano a mano, it will come down to which team builds ultimates here first, and it looks like New Jersey is building the ultimates quicker as Immortality Field is already out. Bubbles once again used, barriers cracked for blue as they're forced to retreat back and wait for that barrier to recharge, but Ichitel says no, he's going to go in, and in fact it's Artemis that has the first ultimate here with the window out. The charge nets nothing, and actually Blue's life is taken in the process.
That was a beautiful charge. I got nothing else to say. Window unfortunately didn't get much, but Greedy's just sitting there doing so much damage to the shields. The Symmetra beam recharges when it's doing damage to barriers. It reloads its ammunition. So him just being able to sit there, hold mouse 1, it's amazing.
That was an ambitious shatter to say the least from Complex, but a Blizzard coming out from Aphrodite will net Ichitel 2 kills and Aphrodite 2 kills as well. Without the Sim TP, Royal Gaming is able to take point A. Honestly, you know, I expect nothing less, but it is still surprising to say the least. Honestly, I don't remember the last time Hanamura A was captured without a Symmetra teleport.
Yeah, that was a beautiful Blizzard. Nothing else to say on it. Lana did use her beat, so now she's swapping off to the Mercy. Frosty's gonna be coming up with her Blizzard very soon. This fight right here is the best chance that Royal has to capture.
Absolutely. It looks like Royal are opting to take this fight on the high ground here, but they are going to drop quickly onto the point, try to wall off New Jersey, and they've already secured a tick. That being said, though, Sasuke is out of his shift ability and does fall because of that. But Ichitel does net a kill on a Complex, but not soon after Greedy takes a kill of his own. As does he take another one from Blue. And yeah, unfortunately, it looks like for Royal Gaming, they are not going to be able to make much progress after securing a tick.
And one of the things that I mentioned that was a huge problem with New Jersey is how they had to use ults to engage. And now, the shoe's on the other foot. Hanamura, this choke is one of the toughest chokes ever in the game. You have to use ults to engage. You have to use ults just to get past it. And now that the initial stagger snowball is gone, New Jersey has a very realistic chance of holding the entire thing, especially with the wall to play around. But the Grab Blossom is ready.
Royal Gaming doesn't have too much to work with, but Blue will find a pick onto Complex and another pick onto its Alana. Both teams back and forth, taking one after another. Complex still has that shatter ready, will not need it this fight, as Greedy Vicus takes 3 kills all on his own, and the stagger for Aphrodite. That will net New Jersey another hold.
Another hold, beautiful one. Artemis used her, she used her window. The only ultimate that was used there on the side of New Jersey was the Symmetra wall, and that's what you need to see. One ult to win one fight, especially on defense. Now, you have to have some way to counter this combo that's coming up for Royal, otherwise this round just might end right here.
Royal has both DP assaults ready. I imagine they're going to engage with the Death Blossom here once Tatsune Miike is taken out, but actually the peel is there. The solo grab onto the Ana, but the sleep onto Sasuke means that the kill will not go through. Rivik is taking out 2 here, but the Blossom is committed from Sasuke, does not net any value, and yet again New Jersey are going to hold this point.
That's abysmal. First, Aphrodite fell off the map.
Oh no.
At the start of the fight also. So the Grav came in to make sure that the Ana died, because that's the only thing that can stop a Death Blossom, is a sleep. Of course, if you bubble them, that doesn't matter, but that sleep's very detrimental. Aphrodite fell off, so there's no Blizzard, and an amazing sleep from Tatsuna when she's under that much pressure. It's absurd. That's a high quality sleep that you just don't see hit. Those are high value sleeps. Now the ulti.
An aggressive Blizzard comes out, but the bubble is perfect from Cloge. The shatter comes through, net 4. Perfectly timed. But will it be enough to secure this defense? I think it will be. The Blizzard, I don't know if it was 100% necessary, but all in all, another solid hold from New Jersey as Royal, they find themselves in an unusual position, that being on the back foot, as they only have a minute and a half to secure this point.
Clouch has their grab out of position a little bit.
Oh, that's dangerous.
For it. This is dangerous. Oh no!
And Clouch does actually get punished for that.
And now there's gonna be speed in probably. Thickman has their beat. Oh, but gets slept. Another sleep from Tatsuna. Beautifully done. And now the waiting game. Complex nearly has his shatter. Blue has his. Both runs know this. Without a doubt.
Both tanks are on the point. Blue immediately takes out Complex and lands another shatter. Ichitel gets the picks that he wants, and Bob on the point as well. Yep, it was just a matter of time, but Royal has taken this point, even without expending a beat.
Artemis with a beautiful window. That Complex was at 200 health, and he got one-shotted through the perfectly windowed fire strike, and then the turn press Q, shatter, team dead. That simple. Beautiful, beautiful stuff.
And there you have it. I do believe that will conclude this scrimmage, as all 4 game types have been played out. All in all, I was very impressed from Royal Gaming, in particular Artemis, as well as Ichitel and Blue. A lot there, especially on that last map. But New Jersey as well. Greedy Vicus, definitely a DPS I would love to watch in the future. Overall, just exciting from both teams to see, really giving it their all out there.
Also, I want to point out Tatsuno hit amazing sleeps as an Ana player. Insane stuff. Giancarlo, amazing play. Angel on the last couple maps also played very well. I don't think we're done just yet, actually. I don't think we're done. I think we're going till midnight. We keep going. And once again, in this break, I'd like to say thank you so much to Champira.gg for allowing this scrim to happen in the first place. That's Champria, CHAMPRIA .gg. Go onto that website if you have any team of any sort that needs a scrim. Doesn't matter if it's 3K, 4K, 2K. They'll find a scrim for you that's at your level, and it will be an experience that you can learn from and have fun doing so.
Absolutely. As easy as it can be to have your players just play on ladder and try to, get good in a sense, just grinding their mechanics. Overall, you will not find, the experience you need to build that team synergy against the opponents you're actually going to be going up against without finding a proper scrim partner. So, but coming back to this match right here, New Jersey find themselves down 4 maps, as looks like Hollywood is going to be the next map. Santa, what exactly do you want to see New Jersey switch up here, or potentially try to change going forward to maybe secure like a map win before this scrimmage is over?
I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I feel like they won Hanamura.
I mean, it's hard to say. It didn't go all the way to additional rounds, so.
True, but I feel like New Jersey had a much better time bank. It was 4 minutes 4 minutes 35 seconds compared to 1 minute. So I'm prepared to give that one to New Jersey. However, I digress. What I would like to see here is that insane team comp that they used. Maybe not with the sim. The Symmetra might not be the choice, but with the May, potentially the Symmetra goes Echo. With the Rhine, I really loved that. Their Rhine Zarya split defense looked really good.
Absolutely. As we will see a substitute for Royal Gaming, it is going to be Artemis for Angel. So a support swap there, as we haven't really seen too many swaps come out for New Jersey. I don't believe how much of the roster is here. I don't believe they have too many swaps to go through. But for Royal Gaming on Hollywood, I imagine they'll be on attack first, I believe. So what compositions do you anticipate them running?
Probably, in all honesty, I think they're going to go back to the triple ball. The ball, Sigma, Echo, Widow, Mercy. Not Mercy, but Ana Zen. That's what I think is going to come out from New Jersey.
Definitely makes sense.
Especially on Hollywood, where the ball, if there's an aggressive hold, a defensive hold, any hold that isn't on point, the ball can do a lot.
Absolutely. Hollywood is one of those interesting points where there is a choke point, much like Hanamura, but it's at such an off angle that you don't often see teams defending hold up to the choke, as you would see on other points. So you don't necessarily have to run like a symmetric strat to break through, or your traditional brawls. You can run dive on this map. It's entirely possible. As we see, it's actually going to be Royal Gaming that's defending first, and they're opting to hold with this interesting ball monkey dive composition. Being able to swap between different high grounds with monkey's jump, and ball being able to roll around, finding health packs, and keeping himself topped up, as well as being able to displace enemy members.
But you look at the comp that New Jersey has. They have a Hanzo. And without any shields, Thickman looking the wrong way, Angel just steps out to hit a sleep and gets hit with an arrow. There's no mercy to res that. So you've got to be very careful. There is that get out of jail card. Get out of jail free card. If you have New Jersey stay on this comp. And it looks like it's going to be another swap onto double.
It does look like double shield will be the swap here. A more traditional defense-oriented composition. And going up against what looks to be a brawl composition from New Jersey, it does make sense. Even though they don't know that.
I do not like this for New Jersey at all. Not one bit. So one of the main ways to get around double shield spam is to have a Lucio. Pass it. There's no Lucio.
It will be interesting to see if they make that adaptation as the map progresses. But both teams meeting each other in the choke, they do now see it's double shield. So I wonder if they go back to make that swap. They will not, and Complex will fall to Aphrodite right away with a concussion mine. It looks like swaps may be in order as Royal Gaming hold this high ground.
That's exactly why you need a Lucio. You can speed around, or a monkey works. It's just the monkey's going to take a lot of damage very early on because he can't go in alone. He has to take the friendly bubble, and then he has to put down his bubble and hope that his DPS do the work.
Yeah, as Complex dives in here, bubble is already out, and he can't get anything done as monkey melts right away. Tatsumi Miike does find a pick onto Thickman, but he will be able to get back just in time. So unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna, for Royal Gaming or for New Jersey, it's not gonna matter too much. But the DPS for New Jersey are still engaging onto the point and actually catches the attention of Blue and actually forces Blue off of the high ground and gets picked early. Aphrodite does find a pick on a greedy Vicus, so it's not entirely over for Royal, but Tatsumi Miike and Complex both find picks. This looks like it's been bursted wide open for New Jersey.
That was really a good disengage re-engage. I thought that it was over. Lano fell down, Complex got trapped, and so he got completely messed up. But an amazing re-engage. The DPS on the side of New Jersey should have died, but they held their positions extremely well, and they just waited for their monkey to re-engage, push the Orisa off the high ground, and the McCree could do what McCree does. Fire, point blank range, flash, fan, whatever the heck he needs to do. And with that much damage coming out, a fortified Orisa doesn't stand a chance.
Man, Tatsumi Miike is just looking for more as he enters that high ground, and the rest, though he falls, the rest of the team is there to try and take advantage of the characters that were on top there. And it's actually Ichitel tries to engage by going up the elevator, but will immediately be forced out as New Jersey have a firm hold on top of the saloon as the cart slowly makes its way across point B. We do see Aphrodite sneaking behind and finds the pick onto its Alana, but Tatsumi Miike with the Deadeye catches Angel, as well as Greedy Vicus finding Aphrodite. The Nano Monkey is out. Ooh, I would say that's an ill-advised combo between Gravitic Flux from Ichitel and Dragons from Sasuke, as the point's already been lost for Royal Gaming. Now all that's left is to clean up the Sigma, and New Jersey do just that as the cart continues to move forward.
I gotta say, I love the idea for the Flux Dragon. Half health, then a dragon coming down where they were. But the point was already...
Oh no!
no!
Oh no!
Blossom! The Death Blossom was used also. Oh,
I'll give Aphrodite the benefit of the doubt and say that was a slip of the finger, potentially.
no, they're swapping. It's swapping, so it's
Okay.
understandable.
Fair enough, fair enough. Ichitel also on this Roadhog here. He's going to heal himself out and not get spammed down. You know, Royal Gaming at this point, they just need to regroup and try to reorient themselves as New Jersey have 4.5 minutes to get this card all the way through to the end of Hollywood here.
All right, there's a Grav Dragon on the side for New Jersey, and there is a trance to counter it, but you never really do know. There could be luck.
Unfortunately, Complex is in an unresable position, so New Jersey is just going to have to wait for him to get back. As I say, that Greedy Vicus gets a pick onto Aphrodite as New Jersey is going to commit the grab. Oh, the Transcendence is out just in time from Thickman, so the Dragons will find no value, but that does not mean that Tatsumi... Exactly, Tatsumi Mika finds a 2-piece with the Deadeye and then follows up with a kill onto Blue and as well a pick onto Angel. New Jersey, man, they are running through Hollywood.
That was a mistake on the side of on Royal. They used both Transcendence and Lamp for the same ultimate combo, and then when the High Noon came out, there was nothing that they had left.
Absolutely, and as Royal Gaming try a desperate hold, the sleep will come in onto Blue. They might be able to hold here just because of the far back position that New Jersey have decided to take, and Complex is just on his own on the cart here, but the Nano will be committed. It's entirely possible that New Jersey just takes this point right away. Blue is already down thanks to Frosty Madrid, and you know, if New Jersey gets someone on the point right here, the cap, and they do, despite the blade being out for Aphrodite, that's going to be the point given to New Jersey with 3 minutes left into the bank. What an impressive turnaround.
That's really good. Few mistakes, but overall, that's insane. That's what we wanted to see.
Absolutely.
We wanted to see Greedy being able to work with the space he's given. Tatsuna work with the space that she's given. Complex just being able to take space. You said at the end that Complex was up there on the card alone, and yes, he was, but the supports were able to focus on him because Aphrodite wasn't able to pressure them. Frosty could just tunnel vision. She could look directly down her scope, nano Complex, and just pour shots into him, and know that Aphrodite had no way of getting onto her. And that's what we've been needing to see for New Jersey.
Absolutely. Honestly, with the way New Jersey didn't look as quite coordinated as Royal did throughout the scrimmage, I was a little skeptical of them running the more dive-style composition, because normally dive requires a lot of team coordination, but they pulled off the composition masterfully. Now, they will be going back to a more brawl-style composition to hold here, as Royal Gaming are going to meet them with the Ryan Zarya as well. The only difference being that Aphrodite is on this Genji, and Greedy Vicus is on his tried-and-true Hanzo.
I love the
well, some
Hanzo
support
pick.
difference.
Yeah, the Grav Dragon's also a potential thing that can come out as we saw in the middle of last round. There's no lamp this time, so there might not be a mistake that gets made this time. Complex is purple, but Greedy Vic is a beautiful headshot onto Angel and onto Blue. 3, can he get 4?
Masterfully done from Greedy Vicus. He's trying to hunt for more. He will not find them as Thickman takes cover behind the little market in front of spawn here. What a fantastic hold from New Jersey to start here. As what do we see here? Aphrodite
Stagger.
Caught in a weird position behind enemy lines. That's going to be
they-
a little bit more time that Royal is going to need in order to make anything happen here. But they are going to continue to push forward through this choke, just trying to build that tank ultimate charge. Ooh, as Blue gets pincered out between the pincer between Ichitel and... Oh, man.
That was a beautiful body block. The Shatter gets nothing.
It did catch 3, but there wasn't enough follow-up to secure any of the kills.
Follow-up. Yes, the Shatter was beautiful. It was just no way to speed onto them. It was over-aggressive. Beautiful
a little too
idea.
ambitious.
Yes. there's a Valkyrie that's going to be coming out from Lana soon. She's got that ready. Both support ults on both sides, very close. The Nanoblade could be coming out mid-fight. This is scary.
Absolutely, and Cloj is nowhere near grab. The Nanoblade is out. Catches 1 kill already on the Tatsumi Miike. Ichitel gets Complex, and oh man, Royal Gaming, they have opened up this point a wide open.
That's a double support ult investment on the side of New Jersey. That's the one mistake you can't make. That's what led to Royal losing 3rd point last round. They used both support ults in a lost fight, and New Jersey just makes the same mistake there.
Aphrodite is an absolute glutton, trying to get these kills as often as they can, but unfortunately a little too greedy there as Greedy Vicus clears off Aphrodite and Complex clears off Ichitel, as even though Royal Gaming have capped this point, they're going to have to wait a little bit longer to reconvene as Ichitel are... Wait,
Is there flanking Zen?
Oh man. Thickman doing his best Violent impression there.
He didn't take up the RNG elevator, so that's the double Bob fight.
Oh, we have a Bob fight on the point. They've finally noticed each other as they go back and forth. But they have been booped away, and now we just wait. As as the tanks for Royal Gaming move onto the card, move forward. Sasuke finds a pick onto Tatsumi Miike, and Greedy Vicus finds a pick onto Aphrodite. Back and forth for both teams. Complex finds a pick onto Sasuke. The Transcendence used to counter the Grab Dragon.
That's another shatter. That's a
more
beautiful
ultimates
shatter.
being committed? That's surprising.
I mean, right now, there's no reason for New Jersey to use any more ultimates, but the shatter, the trans, the flux, I feel like those were all needed. The shatter prevented any follow-up on the graviton surge, and the trans made sure that the dragons couldn't do anything. Just textbook play coming out on the side of Royal. They came down one, well, maybe not the flanking Zenyatta, of course, that wasn't very textbook, but it worked.
The Nanoblade out early as Complex has waited to try and set up an ambush, but Aphrodite is taking matters into their own hand, finds both DPS on the side of New Jersey, and with just a little bit more to go, Royal potentially have point B, but a primal Nano Monkey is waiting for them as the rest of the C9 potentially, and there it is. Unfortunately, Closed was just a little too far away to contest as Royal Gaming make their way. It's not a true C9, but it is one of those forced C9s where it's like the position or like the opportunity, the situation is so chaotic that you're kind of forced out of defending, and unfortunately, you get forced into one of those errors.
Yes. Cloj is now on the Diva, probably to contest the high ground, making sure that the Ashe can't get free range in whatever she wants to do, because Complex is now on the Rheinmere.
Absolutely. Sasuke finds a pick on the Frost and mid right away, and Thickman finds it's a Luna. Aphrodite on a pick on a Tatsumi Miike and Sasuke, finding a two-piece between Complex and Greedy Vicus. This point has been opened wide open.
But for a while there, the cart wasn't being pushed and it actually started going backwards. So while that fight could have been the very last one, now New Jersey has a bit of time to re-stabilize. This could have been a very quick stagger fight, but now New Jersey has the time. They have time to use both support ults just to make sure it happens. McCree getting Nano going in, Shatter coming out from Complex on Aphrodite. So many ults.
They still have to hold for 2 minutes. I think that was somewhat of an overinvestment, especially considering Royal Gaming still have a Nanoblade as well as a Shadow to work with.
And a trans.
Ooh, that might have been that definitely was an overcommitment from New Jersey. Granted, though, in these kind of situations, you have to be, a little proactive with your ultimates. But I think that was a little too much investment. As the Nanoblade is out from Aphrodite, finds a pick immediately onto It's a Luna. Blue with the Shatter cleans it all up, and yeah, this point has been given to Royal Gaming. But they do have a lesser time bank, and even though it is a scrim, so no one technically wins, New Jersey can pat themselves on the back with a very strong attack to start and a very respectful hold at the end there. Just fell apart a bit at the end with the overcommitment ult-wise.
That was definitely, they used too much there. I feel like both support ults and a shatter and a high noon to reload, I believe. Or maybe he used the high noon to get kills. I just remember seeing the high noon come out. I gotta say though, on second point, I really, really love New Jersey's use of the high grounds.
Absolutely.
It was
Hollywood, you have those two, you have the saloon and you have the other building you go back and forth with. And it's the discrepancy between like the high ground and the low ground is such that it's like having that high ground position mean your DPS can, are more or less free to do whatever they please, and the ones on the ground just sort of have to bob and weave out of the way. So I really like their control there.
And what Complex did is, and the tanks did is, they dropped down, and then when they were getting pressured out, they'd jump back up. Their supports would just be sitting there, healing them back up, taking all the damage. They'd have nanos, Valkyries whenever they needed. The only thing that could kick them off the high ground was, well, an actual kick from the Zenyatta, the melee two-piece.
Exactly.
Other than that, very well done from New Jersey.
And we will see a swap here for Royal Gaming. It's going to be Jan Carlos for blue. And we'll wait to see if there's any more substitutions. It will be Angel for Casito. And that should be the last swap. And we will be moving on to Nepal for what most likely is going to be our final map of this scrimmage here.
Indeed. And we started off with the control map. We are ending with a control map. What's your opinion on Nepal, Brad?
It's okay.
Okay.
No, hey, in all seriousness, though, I mean, as a main tank player, Sanctum gives me nightmares when you have Lucio's running around and wrecking balls as well, booping into the pits. But overall, Nepal, pretty interesting map. It's another one of those maps that makes Symmetra viable on I believe it's Village, where it's the enclosed point in the middle, and you TP in, you set up the turrets, and you just hold with an iron grip there. Shrine as well. It's one of those maps where we see a lot of flying type heroes. So I wonder if Aphrodite busts out the Pharah as well. Nepal overall pretty solid map. I give it, if I was a teacher, I'd give it a solid A minus, maybe a B plus for being as open to different compositions as it is.
As a Rhine player, I love Village. As somebody who also plays Monkey, I love Sanctum. I just can't go wrong with whichever map I choose.
Fair enough. Maybe it's just the people I'm unfortunately getting queued with in my latter games that make it a little bit questionable. But as we get into Shrine here, with the final map of this scrimmage, let's see what both teams are looking to run here.
Well, once again, it looks like Aphrodite on the Rhine.
No. Nah, short-lived. Back on the tried and true Genji.
I was that makes a lot more sense. This map, Nepal Sanctuary, is one of the only maps that doesn't have a designated meta for it. On Village, you run Brawl. It's that simple. You can run Dive, you can run Double Shield, but even back when Goats was meta, you'd see Ryan Zarya, May Reaper, Lucio Bap, Lucio Moira, stuff like that. You'd always see some type of boop, some type of dive, or some type of double shield on Sanctum. But this map, Sanctuary, has always been you can run dive, you can run brawl, you can run double shield, take the high ground, you can run a 4 DPS, 1 tank, 1 support. It's always been just whatever you feel comfortable running on this map can be run. I've seen some Metra here also.
Absolutely. It does have the distinct feature of having an an indoors point in the middle, but enough open space that you can shoot from outside to in. So a variety of DPS, such as the Genji we see on Aphrodite, where they can scale up the walls on the side here, and take pot shots at the defending team within. Tank composition wise, it looks like Royal Gaming are opting to go with the Ball Zarya, and New Jersey are opting to go with the Sigma Ball. So what are the key differences between the two setup do you see here, Santa?
So for the tank difference, first of all, tank difference, Complex and Complex and Cloud.
Close.
Yeah, I can't speak. Pardon me. I've
Honestly,
been
neither
injured.
can I. We're in good company.
They want quicker engages. They want to fight to end quicker with Casito and Giancarlo. They want long drawn out fights where the Zarya can gain energy. And right now we see a quick engage already, just trying to get that first bit. Beautiful.
Huge Bionade.
Yes, but
Unfortunately, the damage is too good on the side of Royal Gaming for New Jersey, as Sasuke finds an early pick onto Cloge as well onto Frosty Madrid, and it looks like Royal Gaming right away are going to take control of this point. And with this brawl composition, I imagine New Jersey are going to make some swaps here, because breaking a brawl composition that already has control of the point on control type maps, very difficult to do with dive.
it is for sure, especially when, well, what are you going to dive here? Are you going to dive the Zen that has a Reaper sitting on top of it? Or are you going to dive the Rhine that has a Zarya and an Ana?
Oh no, Sasuke.
Oh no, Sasuke.
Sasuke TP'd into a gaggle of New Jersey, but is able to wraith away. So as both teams now eye each other, you know, they're feeling each other out, trying to see what each other's going to do. It's Greedy Vicus that makes the first move onto Thickman, but it's Aphrodite that with a swift follow-up, and then Casito, you know, killing Complex there, and Aphrodite finding another pick on its Luna.
That's
Don
a
Carlos
beautiful
lets the shatter go, and it's able to secure Royal the continued hold.
And this is exactly what we saw in Night Market. Look, even the swaps are coming back. Beautiful first fights from Royal, giving them control of the point, and then there's nothing really that New Jersey has been able to do to grasp it away.
Absolutely, and with a Nano Blade potentially online here for Royal, oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, the sleep is there on Complex. Waking up early. Oh, Ishidel might be in trouble, but luckily the peel is there and will not die. The grab is out. A naked Dragon Blade doesn't need a nano. Sasuke finds a pick on the Greedy Vicus, as Aphrodite is finally able to get a pick on its Luna, and yeah, Royal Gaming, it's again an ironclad hold, and they still have the nano for a potential Beyblade ult here with the Reaper Death Blossom and Ishitel's nano to secure this point win for Royal Gaming.
And there's only been 2 ults used this entire round on the side of New Jersey, and I don't think they're gonna touch.
Ooh, a very narrow from close, but Sasuke Ori with the 2-piece onto the supports of New Jersey. It's all over for them as the percentage takes up to 100. Round 1 going to Royal Gaming.
Beautiful round. This is what we saw earlier in the night on control. New Jersey just not able to do much really. Sanctum. Now this is arguably the best map in the game.
Easy there. Kings Row exists. Let's take it easy.
You make a very good point. But for the variety that you can see on here, it's insanely beautiful. Are we gonna see Orisa D.Va?
I can't imagine so. I think New Jersey is, you know, they're thinking about what they want to run, because Orisa D.Va.
They ready?
Really ooh, this is interesting. You don't normally think of Orisa and D.Va having much synergy between each other, but independently, both heroes are strong, as both teams make their way to the center point here. As well, Royal Gaming are also running an interesting tank composition between the Winston and the Roadhog.
The Roadhog's just for point presence, it looks like. Last time I saw Orisa D.Va was before Goats was a thing. And
Absolutely.
Right now, quick engage, a quick dive going in, and Casito wasn't going to survive that. There's this beautiful Bionade, though.
There's no follow-up with Casito already out. Sasuke taken out as well. It does look like, despite the fact that Royal Gaming were on the point first touching, they might get the cap here, but eventually New Jersey are going to be able to make their way onto the point and capture. You know, hopefully, unless Aphrodite pulls some magic, which they are known to do.
I don't think so. There's the problem with the comp from New Jersey is they're slow moving. They've got to all go as a team, and with this, all this spam damage coming out from the Soldier, the Genji, the Roadhog, the Ana, they can't move onto the point as quickly as they need. they've got long-term sustainability, but the damage that's pouring in and the hook, just
The Nano Hanzo.
the Nano Hanzo to make sure that he lives. Beautiful Bionade. This could be the swinger in the fight if they manage.
And Carlos does indeed go down. Nano is ready for Ixotel. Does he choose to use it? But I do believe Ixotel will hold on to it as New Jersey make their way onto the point, not before giving up 39% to Royal Gaming. Despite opening this map with 2 picks, like you mentioned, they are such a slow-moving comp, they couldn't take advantage of those 2 picks and had to concede the point to Royal Gaming. But now that they have control of the point and a myriad of ultimates to choose from, I believe Royal Gaming are going to find themselves in a bit of a pickle trying to get in here, especially if Tatsunumike is landing these Bionades. Oh, but as I said, that Sasuke lands a Helix Rocket onto Cloj as the DMAC comes through, and Aphrodite with another Blade kill.
Not a Nano Blade, mind you. The Nano was used on the Zenyatta, and once again,
That's just BM.
I think it was a misclick, to be honest, and Zen does a lot of damage. A surprising amount considering that he's a support, and once again the Hog just presses mouse 1 and takes point presence with whoever's walking with him, and there's nothing. What are you gonna do to challenge the Hog on point, huh? Send the Ana after him? Send the Diva? The Orisa? The Hanzo? There's nobody to challenge the Hog. The Hog's just able to W forward and take space.
I will be curious to see if there are any swaps coming for New Jersey. Oh, but not before Aphrodite and Sasuke once again are making magic and getting these kills. Aphrodite with yet another kill on the complex. 77%. We're entering last fight territory here for New Jersey. Another Nano onto the Hanzo. Very interesting indeed.
That was a deflect, by the way, from Aphrodite that got kill. Tatsuna went in for a beautiful nade, and Aphrodite just said, no you.
The zoning will find no picks here, unfortunately, but they need to commit it just to even get presence onto the point. It's going to be Greed Vicus that tries to do his darndest get onto the point, but is immediately taken out. The bomb nets no kills as the attack visor is out for Sasuke, and he will find a pick in the end. And yeah, Royal Gaming just another ironclad hold on control. They are unstoppable.
I feel like that whole map was just simply a comp difference.
I agree.
What Orisa Diva was used for back when it was used was on Temple of Anubis or King's Row or someplace where there was a high ground directly above the point. The Diva dropped down and flew back to contest and then flew back up. And then waited for boosters and continued to do that. You never saw that combo on control simply because it's too slow moving. The engagement that comes from the Orisa is throwing down a barrier. Diva's too mobile to be able to do much with it. If it's Orisa ball, the ball can go on doing its own thing, but Diva can't take space. The Orisa would have to take space, and with no Lucio to speed it around, you've basically got a large thing of health pools just walking around. It's not a good team comp.
Yeah, as a time long ago when Diva was more dominant than she is, unfortunately she does not seem to be the optimal pick nowadays. As we get into the final round of the final map of this scrimmage, both teams opting for the Rein Zarya, although it is Royal Gaming that opts for the Lucio, which means they will be able to speed onto point faster, and they already make their presence known. With the May Reaper composition, it's going to be very hard for New Jersey to find any opening with this Soldier to try and get picks.
The Soldier and Echo have to put in a lot of spam damage from the high ground. The Rein cannot push in. If the second the Rein crosses the little dotted line on the point, he's going to get walled off, so he cannot walk forward. And look at that, the wall comes in. Cloud goes down, and
Bolt tanks down. Yeah, it's just going to be cleanup work here for Royal once again. It feels like, once again, it's a composition difference. You know, Royal Gaming coming out with the Lucio, coming out with the May Reaper, just feeding onto the point directly and be able to have this unbreakable hold.
And wherever the Soldier and Echo are, they're going to be doing a lot, but they can't fight against May and Reaper in close spaces. Good attempt at a wall, not going to find much. Complex is going to drop really low. Shatter
a bit ambitious, does not find much. Complex, though, coming up on his own Shatter. Shatter, his barrier is down, so he is going to have to wait a bit as they rotate towards the main the main road here, trying to get to the point, trying to catch Roy out of position. Blizzard is out, and Sasuke and Ichita will find picks, as well as Casito. Yeah, this is going to be Royal Gaming all the way.
You can't out-rotate a team with a Lucio if you don't have a Lucio.
It's a fundamental aspect of brawl compositions. That's why, as fun as Reinhardt is to play, when he's not paired with a Lucio, it's a much harder game that you're playing.
Ooh, a beautiful pick coming out from Greedy. Now this could be the opening that they're looking for. There's going to be no Death Blossom, no Beyblade.
Oh, the wall was so good. It practically canceled out the Tech Visor all on its own. As Beat is out for Royal Gaming, we'll cancel the Nano, and a beautiful 3-man shatter from Giancarlos. Yeah, this is going to be Royal Gaming all the way. They're gonna full hold this point. Sasuke with the Death Blossom for good measure, catching Greedy Vicus, and all that's left is Frosty Madrid as well as Mercy on the point here, here to try and contest, and they won't even be able to do it. And there you have it, Royal Gaming with the 3-0 cap onto Nepal. They will net the win for this final map. GG's all around.
That was, once again, I just gotta say, first of all, that's a beautiful wall to make sure that nobody can get out. But the Dragon Blade follow-up anyways, even after not being able to find what they wanted, it's amazing. Very good team coordination coming out from both sides. If I had to pick one person to give player of the match to, who would you choose?
For player of the match, I feel entitled to give it to Aphrodite. Just the way they were able to find value, seemingly with every ultimate, and even after the fights were supposedly done for, it was unreal. It seemed like Aphrodite was always finding value where it seemingly lesser teams wouldn't be able to find any.
I'm going to have to agree with that. And even though Aphrodite was putting up a very good show, Greedy was doing amazing also.
Indeed.
There was no DPS difference. Most of the differences that I saw, most of what made this game look close sometimes and then not very close other times, was either the team comp or just, hey, you overulted one fight and the other team let us out and punished it for you. Once again, thank you so much for Champira.gg for sponsoring this whole scrimmage, setting up this whole entire thing for us. It's amazing. If you guys have a team that you want to have scrimmage, you want to have tons of work that your team's able to do, go to champiria.gg. Once again, champria.gg. Sign up, put your team on there, have automated scrimmage setup so that you can find people immediately in your SR range, no matter what.
Absolutely. It was a ton of fun tonight watching both teams compete, and it looks like that'll do it for us. So once again, my name is Brad RK.
And I am Santa Claus.
And have a safe night and good evening.
Good evening.